What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday morning, and it is wet. It has been raining in Houston. Y'all Houstonians, please be careful. I was watching the news, and they were talking about all the different areas that's flooding or has flooded, and they're talking about the different bayous that have encroached their banks and different stuff like that. So everybody just really need to be smart. They said something that I thought was very interesting. They said that, and I don't recall what part of the freeway it was on, but there is a gas station who has blocked off the entrance to the gas station to keep people from pulling up in there to get away from the high water. So when you're traveling in a certain area of town and you come up on a street or an area of the street, a part of the street that's flooded and you can't go any further, obviously a lot of times the traffic is one way, so obviously you can't turn around and go back the other direction. So sometimes you have to pull up in the parking lot of some of the businesses and kind of wait it out. Well, this gas station blocked off the entrance where people couldn't do that. And this particular situation is actually twofold. One, when people pull up into your parking lot, it's just my opinion, there's a good chance that at some point before they leave, they're going to buy something, whether it's coffee or donuts, chips, gum, whatever. But there's a good chance that they're going to buy something. There's a good chance that they also might realize that they need gas before they leave. Okay? The other thing is, they may not do anything. So, but you're being humane by allowing them to come into your gas station, pull into your parking lot. So my thought is, why in the world would somebody, knowing how bad it has flooded out here in these streets, and your area obviously is prone to flooding, why would you prevent someone who is trapped in high water from coming into the parking lot so that they don't wind up flooding out their vehicle? So I'm just like, I don't know if the owner told this person to do this, if this person is management, they made the call on their own, but whatever. It is just the most ridiculous thing I have heard, because I'm like, you would much rather imagine your own self in that situation. Imagine your wife or loved one in that situation, and somebody has actually gone out of their way to prevent them from seeking safety for whatever reason. So anyway, that's my rant for the morning. I'm headed in. As you can see, it's still, a little wet out here. It's not really raining anymore. It's probably like misting or something. I had to come down the stairs in my flip-flops. The new owner that bought the property, they did a lot of beautiful landscaping around the property. One of the things that they did was worked on like the little drainage areas, and we have like about maybe three or four around our actual building, like right where we come down the stairs. Well, in the beginning, everything worked lovely. It rained, and we couldn't even. So I made it to work, and I didn't have any trouble. My camera cut off because the internet was trying to log me in. But yeah, I made it to work. I didn't have any trouble. But y'all forgive me for the jiggling because my hand was laying on my purse. But I will say that I had to take a dose of my medicine this morning. And I'm gonna have to take another one probably in about 2 hours, because for some reason my hip, it's the same hip, it's been bothering me. So this is kind of what's been going on. I think this is basically what happens when it rains. So anyway, I'll see y'all later. What's up, everybody? I am leaving work. So I was recording on the way in, and now my iPod is saying low battery. Boy, see, I can't win for losing. Hopefully it'll let me get a little something going. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of come back. My day has concluded. It has been uneventful. I ran the first report today with the young lady who has been training me out of the office. And so I was a little nervous, and I had one of my other coworkers come and sit with me so that we can kind of look at what I was doing. And I'm glad that I did that, because I think I guess at the worst that would have happened is I would have saved it in a different folder, which it wouldn't have been the end of the world. I would have just had to go move the file. But at any rate, it went off without a hitch. Everything was copacetic. My notes were right on point. And all is well in the world. I was just a little nervous. I hate making mistakes. It drives me up a wall. I'm not a fan of redundancy. I don't like doing things unnecessarily. I don't like to repeat things unnecessarily. I get that there are going to be times where you have certain duties that you do repeatedly, but I don't want to have to be doing and redoing and things like that, because it works on my last nerve. So anyway, I've been thinking about the gym and really trying to decide today if I'm gonna go work out. And I had to double dose my meds again today because I've been kind of hobbling around, favoring my hip. And I'm just really concerned that if I go to the gym, that I am going to create more discomfort, and I'm just not a fan of that. This is not the type of pain that you push through. This is definitely not something that it hurts because I've been using it or whatever. Like I said, I don't know if it's like the change in the weather or what's going on, but this is actually arthritic pain. So I'm not trying to play with my mobility like that. So I much rather just not even. I'll go home and probably stretch and things like that. But when I'm back to just my regular dosage of my pain medicine, then I'll go to the gym, because double dosing is not a good sign at all. So anyway, I was kind of thinking about dinner. Tomorrow is Beyond Burger night. I was thinking about dinner, and I kind of wanted a Buddha bowl. I have to clean out my refrigerator, because again, I didn't go to the grocery store, haven't been meal prepping or whatever, but I have things. One of the reasons is because I have things still in the refrigerator that needs to be cooked. I have some tofu. I did pick up a few items, so I have a few different kinds of beans, and I have some spinach, and I have a bag of basmati rice that I have yet to fix. I do have some quinoa that I picked up. So I was kind of thinking, and what else? I had, Brussels sprouts and corn and stuff like that. So I really would like to do a Buddha bowl. That is my desire, because I have all the components of a Buddha bowl. I don't have any tahini, because the last the bottle of tahini that I had, I thought it was still good, and went to make a dressing. When I opened it up, it smelled awful. So I poured it out, and so I don't have that anymore. But what I do have is some rice wine vinegar, some sesame oil. I do have sesame seeds. I have, I believe I have 1 lemon and 1 lime. I have the makings of a nice dressing for a Buddha bowl. It'll be like an Asian flair. And since I have tofu, I checked it last night, the tofu is still good. I think probably what I want to do is to make the dressing, marinate my tofu in it, and then when I pan sear my tofu, reserve the dressing. After I put the Buddha bowls together, then just drizzle the dressing with a little, mix in a little mayo to make it a little creamy. So, and maybe a little maple syrup. So I think that's the route that I'm gonna go, which basically means that I don't have to go to the grocery store for anything, which is absolutely fabulous, because that means no spending money unnecessarily. And I think that if I do that, oh, the other thing is I have jackfruit. So I think I will have to go to the store to get Beyond Burgers, because I used a lot. Because when last time I went, I think I got like 3 packs of Beyond Burgers, and I used the last one last week. So for tomorrow's dinner, which I haven't decided if I'm going to do a play on Salisbury steak, or if I'm going to do meatballs. So whatever it is that I do tomorrow, I'm gonna have to go when I get off work and get the Beyond Burgers, because I don't have any more. So, but I do have jackfruit, and I have been wanting to try this recipe for a mock pulled pork sandwich, because I already tried the mock crab cakes. They came out okay, I'm sure, because I used it wasn't the jackfruit. The crab cake recipe that I used called for hearts of palm, and I really needed a food processor, and I tried to break the hearts of palm down by hand, and they came out a little bit chunkier than I would have cared for, because the crab cakes that I'm accustomed to eating, the meat of the crab is very fine. You can still tell it's crab, but the hearts of palm, like I said, I tried to break them down by hand, and it just came out a little too chunky, so I wasn't really feeling it. So I think I'm going to try the recipe again. But there's also a recipe that I saw on YouTube that calls for, like when you do the mock crab cakes, it calls for artichoke hearts, which I did buy because I wasn't sure which recipe I was going to use. So I actually picked up the jackfruit, the hearts of palm, and the artichoke hearts, because I had a few different recipes, and those 3 ingredients, I can't talk, my tongue is frozen, because right before I left work I was eating ice. So anyway, jackfruit, hearts of palm, and artichoke hearts were the main ingredient in a few of the recipes that that I found. And I wound up using the one that called for heart to palm, but that recipe did not have jackfruit or artichoke hearts in it, so I still have both. I wanted to do the pulled pork recipe with the jackfruit, but I wanted to do it with corn tortillas, and the corn tortillas, the ones that we had left over went bad. I just threw out corn tortillas and some seafood bread and another, I think some flat outs wind up. So my husband goes through this period where he does not like, I won't buy bread, then he'll want sandwiches, and then I start buying bread, and then the bread will go bad because he's the only one that's really eating it, because I might eat a piece of toast here and there, but definitely not eating enough to help him eat the bread up. And so I'm one of those kind of people that if I eat bread, I really don't like just plain white bread. I like the specialty bread, whether it's the whole grain or whether it has the seeds and nuts in it, or whether it is just some type of, you know, specialty bread or whatever, but it just can't be plain white or plain wheat. And so with that being said, the bread is definitely not cheap. We're talking anywhere between, say, $3 and $9 a loaf. Just depends on what it is that I get. Yeah, I know, don't look at me like that. One time when I first started eating at Salata, I don't like how they do their bread now, but when I first started eating at Salata, they have this seafood wheat bread, and I tasted it. It was toasted, and I had a little butter, and that bread was so freaking good. What has happened now is they have taken the seafood wheat bread and they made it into like these little, almost like what do you call those, croissants, but they're some kind of funky looking rolls or something. And the bread does not taste the same. And then do you want to toast it? And then what they do is they put it on this, almost, it's not a panini press, but it is definitely, it flattens it. So you got this really weird, dense looking roll that's supposed to be the seafood wheat bread, and now it's like mushed together because they put it in this little flat press thing. And my thing was, whose idea was that? Number one, whose idea was it? What brainiac decided that the bread didn't need to be sliced anymore? That's number one. I'm sure they didn't do a survey. Number two, as far as heating the bread up, why in the world would you take something that looks like a croissant and put it in a flat metal device to make it all mushed up? That's crazy. It completely ruins the visual appeal of the bread itself. So anyway, yeah, that's my little rant. But so yeah, so the whole point of the story was when I first started eating at Salata, I fell in love with this bread. That one time I went in there and I asked them for a whole loaf of the bread, and the guy was like, "Are you sure you want a whole loaf?" And I was like, "I want a whole loaf." I believe by the time they got through ringing the bread up, it was close to $10 for just that one loaf of bread. And I took the bread home and I was telling my husband, "Oh, baby, you remember when I got us the salads from Salata and we got the bread with the seeds and the nuts and stuff in it?" He was like, "Oh yeah, that bread was good." And I was like, "I know, right?" He was like, "Yeah." And I said, "Guess what? I got a whole loaf." He was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah." So halfway through the loaf of the bread, my husband was like, "Oh baby, we gonna have to." Yeah, I'm tickling myself. He was like, "Oh baby, we gonna have to get some more of this bread because the bread is almost gone." And I was like, "Oh yeah." And he was like, "Oh, you know, it's real good with, you know, if you use it to make sandwiches." And so I was like, "You've been using the bread to make sandwiches?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's what bread is for." And I was like, "Oh no, that." Because he had no idea how much the bread cost. I was like, "Oh no, that's not what that bread is for. This bread is for us to have for toast and stuff like that." I said, "You got the white and the wheat bread in there, the regular bread." He was like, "What is wrong with you?" I said, "Okay." So anyway, I'm going back to the store and I'm gonna get some more. Don't worry about it. He's like, no. He's like, "Wait a minute, what's wrong?" And so I said, "Well, because the bread was Almost $10 a what? What is wrong with this thing? I think I pushed the wrong number too many times. I had to wait. He was freaking out. He was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah." So what had happened was
how many times did I tell you before it finally got through?